Brown, Mr. Dennis Brown. Enjoy your day, Chairman. From Achampo the Butcher. And afi players are more ebobo ewo East Legon Okunglo Park no so nyina my chairman birthday Mr. Dennis Brown. Happy birthday to you. And na just say ho asem I don't know. Ye betwa so na afi ye de fi sem no aba. Okay, and Professor E.K. Wallace Ajina Kunya. Prof
Ghana Fokwejo.
Prof
GH Kwejo.
Na bibia she ye.
You what yes bia kama. Bia kama pa.
Nice one. And not so gugu kama.
And you want to say and de gugu eto yankasa.
Gugu is not the word.
Eto yankasa. Me bana mafo hata mokete mattress ni ade de nyasem keto. Fridge ne nkuntunkuni amafo ye fide mbe hata na no panya.
Ewuram ko for them
nam ye aveno hye so okje nyasem keto.
Enye easy.
Enye nyasem keto. Kwana nso etutu. Kwana contractor fo bi so maye no. So to come on.
Yeah, so you go mad just say you don't talk at
but me expect say in so a bit me pia COVID-19 akoba bia odi fi bai e fanem ko nyesa padia me she de so fa so
anyway
fa for senkofo adua kuku ne no ba ya hodo aburo ne menkani ne amaniama no enso ne pia COVID-19 de ko yes, I padia could you still no.
Asempa FM.
Okay, you're ready, Missy. Okay, and young cop now, you're 57, bra. Come on, I'm great.
Ofieni fian pagana mama de shima mobi akwa ba kese bi nsan de ba sempa 94.7 FM so emena so se de domestic sports news and saka se fisem eja was still ASEMPA asempa 94.7 FM so immortal kwa meja kwa champion netting team sem de gun krata so with the help of other producers Sergio Manuchu right Rafaela Menyo Bernard Padibo twemu na fe so Eric Esidu Bodi and afi ukuma Papa Maestro Mr. Ben and afi Kobe the Scavenger Mavis Amano LED production team na fe Philip 2 AK47 the gunshot man o madama woman tintin sem de gun krata so se memedwedwam emfa manfun so bi bemu a na sese firi o makache ne otwura ntwuru ne ya ne o kan so ankan ne ye Queen Stakio ana nei ono so e de ato Facebook be piuma na Asempa 94.7 FM hwe akiri kwan na like na tag na afie hwese ne ma besi akọ e we ne anopan so nkoma ye de ebro e Ghana gudiem medin de Enoch Kwasi Walanyo Wallace agudie catch back up the only nomenclature with the professor's degree in sports the Wallace and Messi Kunya Elkona Quantin Coordinates Modo and Saka and Anopen so Ghana Gudim Eba Samuel Quadadirinchi and multimedia sports director Bako Podobolo as the program's director the Mass and 94.7 FM Urabu and a general manager Konichima Nese Ura Aditine Kenasa Chief Operations Director Nafe Sugeti Costume the Jume any day where other wonderful members of the HR team Elbow Juma Pa Nafe so called client service department Edwini HM Eco Sales Marketing as Fugan in paying for so ha mo eboa watchman for driver for new bibia ofia bia no e na fidia to amuti still ASEMPA Asempa 94.7 FM
Asempa FM
quality offense fisem ana edi eja no a journey of 1,000 kilometers begins with the very first step yensha semfanfi Ghana Football Association quality offense GFA wo akachi dia na sentem nkomo bi beto dwa se eye ura anedi ene eye George Akwesi Afrie enkan no wono na eye ura Akwesi Ntechi abedi echiri se Ghana Football Association vice president ano no so ebodwuma na no ada eto aba no so kugina mu eto sa ba bia tim sampa it was killing contested na so du ba bi no ana ba pepeja ne sa bedwem se ontwen santos bi ba adu no empemfo nto aso sa na ede abato no ehun sunsunso ni na ekogya ura Kate Edwin Simon Okraku se wono ana abe the latest the newest and the freshest FA president on the continent and I feel so for that matter Ghana ana papa ebonadwuma na omo ewie sa dwumedi na amafo nim se the current administration ebe fe ni padada fo no na omo ne omo akonakra na sebe anka omo so de omadwenkyere betian saboa na ma Ghana football team se tumpo na so besi sabere amene twunkum de san hihye bi enya nto famie eno nam so ema na sentem yetime san de hihye so kwetuen san to dwom chese advisory board for division 1 ana na ye pe committee ombetian san hwe na saka sa body ombetian san kopie so na ne akopie mu kran se eye board a ura didi ni George Akwesi Afie akopie so na so nya appointment akopie so no omo chese enye Ghana Football Association ana ɛna de saa di brɛ kɛse ɛde ma papa yi deɛ nanso hwɛ a mpanyinfoɔ Ghana Football Association no wɔn bɔ na ba so sɛ wagye pene sɛ ɔbɛyɛ adwuma san sɛ wɔn to nsa de frɛ mpanyinfoɔ bi sɛ wɔn nso mɛbɔ saa adwuma bi nanso nya de a wɔn tiri nsa gye pene na saa basobɔdeɛ ɛna akɔyɛ sɛ Ghana Football Association fo mpanyinfoɔ ɛna ɛde saa appointment yi ɛtumi nsa gya George Akwasi afie sɛ wɔn mmra advisory board no so for division 1 sɛ na nhyɛ ne si kɔ so no bɛtɔ no kyerɛ sɛ ne zone a wɔpie firi mu no zone mu mpanyinfoɔ na ɛkeka wɔn saa ase n'ani wɔn mu piapia no ɛde ne bɛpie mu ɔsan hyehyɛ sunkum Kurt Edwin Simon Okraku FA boss sisi a ɛde akom anim nkyɛkyɛmu ɛde ama saa appointment a wɔn de ama George Free no.
Okay. I think I may clarify the and near me to Krakow and the concept on the advisory committee. Usually class 4 and the number team represented on that advisory committee. And now also he thought it was good for him to continue to serve Ghana football. He accepted to serve on the advisory committee. That's why I made that out to say kudos to him because of course, he was the former vice president of the FA. He has a lot of experience. He coming on board on that advisory committee to advise the FA on what to do. I think it's a bold step and it's a good step in the right direction. He has shown, still no, Ghana is putting personal interests down and thinking about the greater good, Ghana football. He wants to make a contribution towards the Ghanaian game, especially the local football. And I think it is good. It is good he has agreed to serve on that advisory committee.
Into way any Nkoma, the latest, the freshest, and the newest FA president on the continent, Ghana president no now be Puma Kurt Edwin Simon Okraku, and then Nkoma to to just set records in state Sampanian Pa, and you on a Bejo Kubia and a Ton Santa Fe George Akwasi, former vice president of the Ghana Football Association, say one man's advisory board no a year committee no where media, it turns a P Monodia, Zona, a year Ura George Akwasi, a P Fimno, Sazo Mumpay for no more 8 me a boom meeting Kuji Pines Papano, and in your many not face a committee no measure moi, a massage some Corinthian San Quentin and Peniampano, and ye a Kurt Edwin Simon Okraku, and a frey a year George Free, so on my boss Edumano, but a month for expectation Cafisa Brecodia and campaign for one more Egina Batuano, Kuman and Neapon, someone after Kikoni Chimes and Mexico, and Ness Rafael Papu Moon, Kofoke County Nada, and Bepem George Akwasi Free soon Caba now, F in administration, a room with Tim Ponio Munim Diomosoa, and care from the any more Yajuman, so and Tessa, what do I need the current administrators na kachi de Mobusia for and I for my uncle for an omnium elbow juma. Na Ura Edwin Simon Okraku FA boss, Esandin Kumo for Twensenjai, Efa Sana on a corporate Ghana, Nessin Yumukwa don Egusu aiding Kitahon, Sebea down Kumabiano, Ombetimi Abeso Efinasi.
Thank you. The marketing manager will be in place in office. In the last few weeks, my undertaking a lot of corporate visits. So indeed, if you follow me on my social media handles, you would see my undertaking a lot of corporate visits. Now, it's a key strategy we deploy to again bring confidence in corporate Ghana. Okay, and I say to reinstall confidence now. Corporate Ghana, Ghana bomb. Now, the media say I go to them, I tell them about the FA, I tell them about the vision of the new FA and why it's important for them to join hands with the FA for socioeconomic gains, okay? And so steps here, and I'm going to take gradually, it will yield results. This is what I mean by I'm laying the foundation step by step. And then you can say, and then they call farm milk. And some few weeks ago, they call a government agency called YEA, and they call Ghana Education Service Minister
Asempa FM.
Engagements now me undertaking both the private sector and then the public sector. All was galvanizing support for the football industry. Okay. This is the beginning, early days here. Step by step, they should say the media that for the property.
It's a way and Nkoma Kurt Edwin Simon Okraku, one Ghana Football Association President or Dikujas Frank Akwasi Jam, our Germany Radio Suton, Nanwada, and Carniches join news phone paying for friend and Senka Quambia, some Papa Bedins also, and we found Pamucha, some good to use Femsa, Mrs. Abri, Papa HS and FM. Now, so Germany Radio so, and this uncle Ekujaya, and the Africa Edema, no Hussein and Yama Asia Ko or Sanji Shemu. Young Komubium, Nafi and Heston and Yama is it here. Ghana Football Association so akachi dia na je se nkan no na captain pa any baby jet Asamoah Obakono no the number 3 man 22nd of November 1985 ne wono we 34 years and something Grampuni Mantema 1.86 meters tall with Nanso Bruta na nkan na nka hwemodia na se ne spouse gift jan na so tumi sam pass se die nkomo kakra ho ba ke kwani chi hwese ne ma esi ekoso papa yi Raphael Jan and Floyd Jan and Freddy Jan we mo ne ma on record ko kan wani chirima wo a hwese ne Mexico so na sentema ana omo ekoye test a wugidi pass san kwalade ne ma na nkomo abepiem ne se Bibjet Asamoah Jan as from captain to general captain ne die itimu se still ogusu general captain na since last time nanka Blasters ye hwe nim se nkede double header qualifies game akobetua sapem so na ne din enkasa selection ho but still amount for say once a general captain still a general captain no den komo kakra tua sa basampa ka coaching padia asa won nsa no wabeni brutal obo nim ti se ne so ka so coach a ne mo beye no enya asem keto a ka kunye gine kwakwanum Bibjet Asamoah Jan bon komo.
Yeah, I think I'll take that into consideration about getting a coaching license, because I've got an IQ in coaching. Me to me so will be to me but I say me a good coach. My brother so my friend. I also near be I also yeah. Ni me my catch and say on your coach. And also I can say any or your coach I'm an assistant and I say me my coach no I am assistant. And I don't want to go outside the game. Say maybe I'm a retire. See, I have to just do something to get involved in the game because yes, I papa. I bet me about say meet me Jaibo. There are so many people they are not back into the game. Maybe more young businesses and assets in but I'll try and get a coaching license because I've got the IQ, I've got everything about coaching. I can coach a team. But I have to get the license first and then we see. My brothers will send our kind. Also planning also be coaching license. We take it from there.
Yes, inti Bibjet Asamoah Jan and attend a council and come age and say, no, or dream hopa or IQ, an intelligent question to be a coach or be. Now, coach, whom I'm saying, exams natural and home can abandon another problem. Point to waiting up a coaching, but say about exams, no channel or class answer channel, and no see another problem to you beyond party fiance idea, a bed in power, but Asamoah Jan so be consider. No assumption in here, any brother answer. We did pastor no so need coaching to one shot down come be am say one team ba ko be coaching ba ko assistant na say ba ko be assistant ba ko so coach winning kuma ono so edi eja a ugidi pass one shot obe consider coaching on the dwumadim course no ne yere na problem no so hwe school ye there but about say na coaching course ye there but so hwe a che say one shot na ekotofo na de fofo asafofo aba but heavy renard enso ye coach ba kwa ono so September 30th 1968 ne wo no wadi 51 years and something awke kwani chema Francis yeso none other obepie mu kroma say a physical trainer edema the senior national soccer team Blasters of Ghana the yere pa e friend say a Viviani Diaye na ono enene na no defender na heavy renard ukuma na say coach adwuma de utimi say waji kruwa bibribi a chese Africa de obi anim say or a heavy coach na odenkomo kakra etiensan by Jan believes that Heavy Renard would be a good coach for Blasters and wouldn't be a surprise if he accepts to handle the team one day. Inti Heavy Renard dia okoye Asamoah Jan GD pass nanu bia ono beka so
Asempa FM
say Asamoah Jan kwadwofo de na so Asamoah Jan de believe say coach no nyame adoma ono de o ba be coach Ghana da ko bia
Ebi ono so we chire hu mistakes and our coach Ghana team leader Obi say you cannot doubt the person because or the team to say statistically football we know Ghana we name Zambia or the Zambia aje or the Ivory Coast aje into no Obi say can say ma so no so gina the original so the cancer because why you be that into Obi say can say ma you cannot doubt the person into no a very good coach share an international records in this animal a very good coach and menina ejumada or you be a percent players are very fit. On the ground, put all fit crossing players. No, me kai sad time no. You call onu Johnny. You could beach worker. onu put giant ho. Until the side na or they are making sure any players are very fit. You know, why not? Ono can say there definitely no. In the future, you might not know say a bit me coach national team and as own coach, but it can be possible because we've got the quality.
Heavy Renard and out in Casa, baby jet as Samoja, Edem Naneka Kraman, despite the fact say a beach say Heavy Renard say baby jet as Samoja or Quadrufo lazy player. Now so say as a caption in the Tessa, but in Comona Castle Bueno, na and Shadan Tessa, I was in the Mexico soon, but as Samoja say Papano, who Ghana inside out and outside in into down come be paying for the national team manner, obey me, I technician, no one fix whatever the problem is. Young come and chef Menra. And a confirmed report even a damanimi. Now, whom I trot Menshia Palace, Ness, Menshia, him fear Cassia, and Omo and so a chance to dear Eda Sopa, or my chance to no one because and again is logo near pay. But Obama, Ness, the Chief of Staff, Office of Asantehene, P.O. Boss 285, Kumasi Ghana, press release
Asempa FM
for immediate release. Oma Sanse, and Macho May 28, 2020. His Majesty Utumfo was to the second Asantehene has constituted a new board of directors for Asante Kotoko Sporting Club and charged it with an ambitious task to rebuild the Kumasi Asante Kotoko brand, not only for its performance on the sporting field, but as a viable economic entity. Until almost able to say, Yesi Bioma be football nkwa, and one more Sebia is cancelled between Sabem, Nabua Emanema Etiakui. Appointment of the board follow an interim report from the 3 member panel chaired by Professor Lydia Nkansa, Dean of the Faculty of Law, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, which is inquiring into recent operations of the club. The panel gave the green light for the constitution of a new board to bring Asante Kotoko SC in compliance with both the licensing regulation of the Ghana Premier League and then its statutory obligation under company laws. We any Shenibi. Dr. Kwame Che, chairman of Unity Oil Group, is retained as chairman of the board in recognition of the fact that he has single-handedly financed the club operations over the past 3 years. Nese winning Kumaba, so Dr. Kwame Che, Kasi retaining the Anese, Koso Amana Transe, Ebu Enono, is answer best in Fima Kumako Best Misenino, Omche say this carton Prada, the Nomanisika, Nibotum Sika, Nesebia, Nimdia, the young Quanim, but Sikandia, or someone say on Quanisika, he has single-handedly financed the club's operation over the past 3 years. And it know, and paying for say one Santan Guaso, Emra, Yati Air Committee, Umugusu 3-member panel committee, chaired by Professor Lydia Nkansa, Dean of Faculty of Law, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. So we have no now endo do kotokonsemno emuna adeni edisa paniaba. However, he will now work in cooperation in a corporate setting with a board carefully choosing to blend continuity with a combination of corporate dynamism and integrity, financial prudence, and professional experts. And on His Majesty has expressed his gratitude to 2 eminent bankers and 2 leading and joint business executives who have agreed to lead the experts and corporate clout to the board. They are joined by 1 corporate lawyer and 2 sports experts and 1 from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology and the other a woman physical education specialist from Sunyani Technical University who has worked with the national women's team. Members of the board of directors are Dr. Kwame Che, chairman, Unity Group, stroke chairman. Mr. Jude Arthur, board chairman, GCB Bank, vice chairman. Mr. Kwejo Boateng Jemfi, board chairman, Ghana Exim Bank. Mr. Kwesi Osefuri, chairman, Edmark Group, and then CEO of Rockshore Mining Company. Alhaji Lami, businessman, Tema. Anafi lawyer, Kwame Mensa, corporate lawyer. Mr. Joseph Yao Edu, retired director of sports, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Kumasi. So Mrs. Evelyn Isian Asari, acting head of sports, Sunyani Technical University, STU. And so Bafo Kwame Kusi, Utum Force, and Kobia Hene, on also account Nipa Makuma Kobe Senkron, and Asa
Asempa FM.
Ediamakodoko. Doctor, and I say the professor. Lydia Nkansa Committee will advise on possible institutional representation as part of the proposals on institutional reforms. The board will be the highest decision-making body of the club. responsible to the sole shareholders for policy
Asempa
formation
FM.
and active oversight over the management, development, financial control, technical direction, and performance of the club. Again, the backdrop of recent disputes among stakeholders and without prejudice to the outcome of the ongoing Professor Lydia and Cancer Committee, His Majesty has tasked the board to rebuild the Asante Kotoko SC brand both for its performance on the sporting field as a viable and self-sustaining economic entity able ultimately to reclaim its preeminent position among the elite clubs of Africa. He has directed the board to set up the Asante Kotoko SC Academy and establish a new social compact with Asante Kotoko to provide opportunities for the development of the youth within the communities for advancement through sports. He has also directed the board to provide the club with the stability of a professional administration equipped with the technological and analytical skill appropriate for the administration of a professional sporting club. Kofi Bedu, Chief of Staff, and Odessa Nkumuyaba, also to all media houses, and Asempa Edieni, and Amakenkan dia children. Na Nyami Adoma, Mejebre, any other jet, na Medefi the film, Kama at the amount who send them Asia Koso. T when Nimdia for Pa, Kofa Sabi, Yadomia tried and tested, and the Amom, I'm saying Canada Bush. If you Makuma Kubes me Sunday, Dr. Kwamichi, Onona Edini Sika Nkwa Yakotokwa anti me sure same painful subano almost the contribution ebeba because almost with them reason and maybe or sanshim na emuna and a comu na reason nema is a course as appointment mu amafo beka emna opim so asantini 24 or say to 2 the second what they the breno Emma Dr. Kwamichi no nkoma oboy ni bini
Asempa FM.
Wa me catch us a penny bar near by Yedman. Then before Biamra, wa penny bar near by Yedman, then baby BIT says a woman, Masum, you what a woman, I bet you am Nana, what's the Nakoyade? And then it's Sabian and Nana would dim fear me as I wouldn't fear do, Mamma Hunter.
Until we basis are a 240 team number, Dr. Kwamichi, so on Manasum Juno, on Mr. Sikawa Hifio, on Commercial Basabas, on one didn't see can fear me as any a man and Nasum Juno, and Nasum Juno Quadia and your policy be a fence officer, you be a fine Juma, yet de Dr. Kwamichi Sikana, and your debate Jumana Bois, a Makoto Consul, Etienne Quenim, winning Coma, and also Etienne Samba. Now, and Comoito Fempe. And yes, I come with you. Ura Hebet, Kojo Ampon Samensa, former chairman of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, on also the Komoka Kra, Ebetech, say, Western the Mexico Sundia, a boy Juma, but it's a rugby, and a Oboa, now rugby, Federation, rugby was sponsored, Sin Bia or Ghana. As we speak now, currently, or Ghana rugby, Yamiadoma make count to a rugby for sponsors in Hambia Betro, no send the Mexico, but Hebet Kojo Ampon Samensa say, Utu for pay. And a bit and number back to Kotoko. Apart from that, in the board and crown a year one by day will be in Fanny Mabia.
And there's only one person who can order me, and that is Otumfo. And over the years, I consider myself the luckiest of all chairman of Kotoko because I still have an extraordinary relationship with Otumfo. I don't go through intermediaries. I deal with Nana directly, and we meet regularly. His birthday was a few days ago, and I spoke to him for 40 minutes on his birthday, which is the way that I do with Otumfo. We speak. I feel honored. I feel refreshed after I speak to him. In the UK, I go to Henley. We sit and talk for 4 or 5 hours. I go to Menchia. It's a relationship of which I'm blessed. We agree generally not to talk about football. You see, the friendship is far more important.
Yes, into Herbert, could you upon some men, former Kumasi Sanoko, and can you chairman, Pano? Now, say on it, Nana, a year relationship with me, Kono Ho, on a birthday, and say, Mukudi come on in a casa 40 minutes, or say England, cried the Muko UK, and you Timiko Transimo, just say, Chinchiri, Momutimi, just say, and Crantia Chin,
Asempa FM.
A relationship be a Yamishan say, one day a year, Utum for Santini, Inya. Tea and any camper, but Omon come for my jet to say Omon come football once. Nana Na Herbert Sandy we so giant so obesre na say me man na dwum kra so santon say their friend say o me kotoko.
I would beg him not. If he was to go ahead and after all, I was announced as chairman of Kotoko without my consultation with myself. There had been a riot, people forget, in Kumasi. 11 people were shot and badly injured by the Sanahene at the time because they had not allowed me, a stranger, to go and see Otumfo. And thousands of people descended on Menchia. People have forgotten that time. Water cannon were brought in and dispersed the crowd, and Sanahene fired his gun 11, I don't know how many times, but 11 people were injured with gunshot pellets throughout their body. And I was unaware, but when I went back to Kumasi a few days later to apologize for a situation of which I was not aware, let me put it like that, and going to the House of Chiefs, Nana Champehene, a great man, when he saw me in the back of the auditorium hiding somewhere, announced that his father had asked him to announce that the chairman of Kumasi Asante Kotoko was Herbert Mensah.
Yes, inti Herbert Kojo Mponsa Mensah anode ne komo itrensa to dwan say edu ba bi na no for so ma o hwese Mexico so ahemfo no ba ko fire gunshot nipa be say edu ba ko ana che say omu titie e wo gunshot no achi kwa no Sunday apology kwa ko jampemfo ni nan se na man for resisting omu pese obebora menhias manfo manfo ya done too much. Hey Herbert no Sunday nkomo we esenja biu last ne nkomo kwa Sunday ja kra ni.
If he did say yes, then I have no choice because you cannot defy Otumfo. The problem is Kotoko today is not proper Kotoko of yesterday. The question too is times have changed dramatically. The days that I established Kotoko Express, the day that so many things happened, the day we changed the image of Kotoko, how they dressing in suits, the day that we looked at the corporate relationship between the two, a lot has changed. The world has changed. COVID-19 means that businesses are down 60 to 80% on turnover, and when you are, what do? You cut your advertising budgets, your marketing budgets, first and foremost. How do you become creative?
But Adeba Kwa Kamania General said times have changed. Ampa, that time na space phone and that day, no way, Juma actively. See, we have some Mexico, and this is first no, to Bajiko to Quanra, Zin and a contact in and go for 9 and now for or the Umbe to now, we now call retirement. But I say, until Bajia, times have changed. They have really changed. I was saying, Emma is your course into to say, and pass is over Bajia and Hebejinism. But rugby, yes, Ghana Rugby Association, idea, Papaya Boama Nema 18 Saku, your mom. Hebben come on a dozen. They say, alleged said there was a time in Pabahini, 2 4 small Pabahini, so magic to Kuzikanema, who sushi sonum. Ma kama tafre na so ho ama pabo ahinija ne ntama ne charge na to ho no kra na senye no kra nyame adoma mepe exclusive interview with Herbert Kojo Amponsa Mensah first number for so e kwabna ba me bisa no so e fe no Kojo wono edwada to Herbert Kojo Amponsa Mensah ana otinka former Kotoko chairman ano de nkomo ejaina me de besia na mada wasipi
Asempa FM
o hwe mechiri kwa ko me Twitter handle no so me bon komo this weekend Twitter handle no so at Prof Wallace me bon komo mu na we sana nyama esia koso hyehyɛ wodo a ɛno so etia saba so no Sergio Manucho ono ahwe ni face mask a odi production no Ghana for Kojo wa ha ana afi so kwa no Quinsta kill enso abone ntama se kama ende Quinsta wa kyerɛ me so ye ba sima hey anyway you na fi mama mani ajipa ma fi chese ma feel too much body ni yeah Quinsta body ne enti Ghana for Kojo e take over radio no from now till 10 imota kwameja kwa champion samba biu have take over production technicalities within the Enoch Kwesi Wallace. Thank God it's Friday.
Son boy, man a boss. I wonder, I man a boss. Boss it up. Me a go boss it up. Boss it up. Yeah, never run. Because we know we are the real big boss. Never rush, we never crush. Because we know we are the real big boss. We conquer the storm, break every numb. Boss bring the energy you can't feel numb. Got to know we are the big boss. Boss it up. Me a go boss it up. I am the Big Nation president, the big boss. Grab a bottle of Big Boss Energy Drink and bust it up.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Another quality product from Bell Aqua. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended to persons under the age of 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and persons sensitive to caffeine.
Akwenshia wo hoi esida. Ebetumi ye fidie akwenshia. Ana ebetumi ye amayale. Ana emdwudwe mpo. Nia wudi kan ye no ehu hia pa. Se yade a wankasa wonya akwenshia. Ana wo hu akwenshia a. Fre 112 ne muaye intem efri efidie a wode fa ayarefo eno. Nya komatoyem efise efidie a wode fa ayarefo bebro ahasa na abagana. Fre 112 womre a wapomodin mu aye den na jewo ene wabusiafo ene wadofo enkwa. 112 emwa beba 112 nya hubambo memfre emre a wu hiamwa esanse ebetumi ama obi a ohia emwa enkwa efri ninsa ye omamba pa.
Me say, ye kwano biometric banking, no what you need did you not be brutiawomu. Say dear, what you do fingerprint and our facial recognition, make sure we name a view Absa mobile banking app, a row phone sono. That's right, utini pa. Nya we yani sa ubes rekakra, and now we don't sabe kakeke. Make your bills for airtime, ye transaction in your kika will be free. Mawon sanka banking shares from Kwa, yashada yese ebemma hutoso, na bwaw ewo dwumadie mu. Download the Absa mobile banking app neya. And no ni Africanacity, and no ni Absa. Ko Absa Bank be a ben wona hunu yi, and she share kakra wo ho.
Hello, students! How well can you answer very simple, interesting riddles? Come, let's test our smartness on the Joy Learning Trivia Riddles. How do you participate in this interesting and rewarding challenge? Follow these tips. 1. Follow us on all Joy Learning social media handles. Facebook at Joy Learning and Twitter at Joy Learning TV. 2. Check out the Daily Riddle on Joy Learning TV and all our social media handles. 3. Post your correct answer to the riddle of the day on our social media handles. Get the answer correctly and be rewarded with a well-deserved acknowledgement on Ghana's first educational TV channel, Joy Learning. Joy Learning Trivia Riddles. Let's learn with fun and lots of excitement. Joy Learning. Keep learning.
When you obey my when you fear a dana airqua, tear me. You some yare and now process disorder a yare bakwa. So one year which my how pa. My process me a mop on the in here. Now process abase a bedi beme beer academu. In me. Any habai any akabumu aye processisti. Eye habai unkwa inchemuha, enam say. Selfa processistia, ubada na ho asundwemu, na hombesi husu yanka sankasa. We need be dog store be bremu ewo memu. Enye ma apen for, ema kwada no for, anan kwada nimuru mfie dumienu. Ebi ahwe edwade enka twemu ajatum se eye. Etumfofre Phytotech Limited e was 0246 490116 and 020 997-7733. Prostate system, a healthy prostate, a healthy life.
All right, so we are live on Asempa 94.7. And Wasuguswa Wutino. This is the ultimate agenda on the Ultimate Sports Show. Na yebeye no nkron na fe yatiesim e wa godie mu nsem abono nsia abono no nwotwe apan wosima du enum pepepe is 16 minutes after 8. Now, can I say, and then Friday, midday the quadru mensa moshosho. We are live on Facebook. Enti ubetimi adjoin here live on Facebook. Now, Odiaba. And then on the COVID-19 update, Carex and the Ghana Medical Association Ekitemu on the ultimate agenda. No, yeah, not for Kasa teachers for Nakasa. And they almost just said, the proposals be akoto abayanim. Na go back to the classroom until say aban ebeye sa proposals na de akoto abayanim no enti ebedi hu nkomo ye ne nat for ebetwetwe enkomo ni ahwe some of the proposals no and whether say aban betumi aya na discussions are cost no efa say ye be schools ni be open schools and one issue at that crampo and say okay say yebekwa yema final year students for no enko say de be ya ometumi akwakwotro omo exams no enema nat aka say aban etumi eye ansana omo akọ back to school no eno no aban betumi aya na say aban etumi nye ho behia say yebema final year students na akọ back anase say anase the other proposals are abaso and say yebema final year students no akọ back because of yare no kwampo bia esoro kwa eko na yenyusu continuous assessment no efa assessing kwala no na womo en na yemfa promote womo otiase as to say womo ebeko SS from GSS to SS and I say from SS to teacher whatever enti eyen koma yedie na anopai hono ana yedie concentration nyina no ebewo na yabisa yensem ewo ho enti but already medical catch them say on the COVID-19 there only already yedika tra 7,000 mark no and also a matter of concern nhyehyɛ no gusu wɔ hɔnom ampanyinfoɔ egusu edi tianopɛ hɔnom ɛna yɛdraw attention no ɛde akɔ wobɛtumi adwane discussions no we are live on Facebook ɛyɛ Asempa 94.7 wɔ secondary takrade wotianka ɛwɔ Aseda 105.9 kai sɛ Carex ɛne Ghana Medical Association anopɛ ɔmada roma ɛne yɛsi nkonnwa ɛde COVID-19 update no ɛba saa so ɛna Dole yogurt ɔsɛ more I need more and a live soap or say soap soap no can save your life and use it debia why and afi McDan Shipping Company Limited your total logistics partner and Petrosol or say a delightful experience and tinaga say omadaroma and anopay yade and 7 urbano na not for akasa teachers no akasa na enchebiano me de wɔn nsɛm a wɔn de atwitwa no ɛbɛba ansa na yɛakɔnɔma no so na yɛne mpanyinfoɔ a ɛwɔ nat no so asan adi nkɔmɔ no afei deɛ ɛwɔ bia no wɔn aka ama Ghanafoɔ nyinaa ahu as to deɛ nti a wɔn ɛka sɛ school no wɔn bɛkɔ anaa wɔn ɛnkɔ no na yɛbɛdi kan ahyɛ aseɛ na yɛdi nkɔmɔ no ɛwɔ mmarahyɛ badwa mu na afei yɛhu sɛdeɛ ɛwɔ hɔ. Yes, it's yabeko emrashe bedwamu na yene MP for North Tongue Honorable Samuel Okujetu Ablakwa or a former Deputy Minister of Education or na yeshase na yene no edin komo ewo dwumadi eso Honorable Anopay yamo action e dia ba Asempa 94.7 so
yo mo shosho mejo so na medase so I hope say ho ye
me pacho me ho ye pa na mo so e
nyamiado
yo mamini kan enhyasie say yenya ntie talking about say school ye bia na say ye mie no yenya ntie say wo constituency ho no private schools because you say private schools no teachers no bebre no complaining ni honest no na what the initiative bia ba utua private school teachers na wo constituency wo nyina eka me ba cho sanete na adenti na wo decide say obey sa
yo medase edikan ma menchiatie fo nyina na menda mo se mo frame no cre say private school teachers are Northton constituency in all there were 45 private schools na osha your district your BEC performance just like many districts across the country private schools no and more boye pa I am not discounting the contribution of public school teachers. Public school teachers, so yeah, dear. Now, so at the basic level, private basic schools normally are the best performing. Over the second cycle, the public secondary schools are the best performing. And that really is what the data says. That's the statistics. And many private school association leaders Asia about 3 weeks ago na me invite you almost yantina na yan assess the impact and what we can do to as it were support the students ubekaya earlier na my teacher textbooks and supplementary readers my students and people's I want me constituency because rural constituencies no you need the luxury of internet and all these online platforms are urban students or peoples have, where they can go online on more laptops and then they can continue with their online learning experience. For the rural areas, lack of broadband penetration and fiber optic penetration, lack of internet, lack of computers and all of that. And I thought it wise all the students should receive books. And the publishers of person may use this opportunity to thank them. And me share the leaders of the private schools, and I bet what you say. Unfortunately, because schools have been closed down due to COVID-19, March teachers when receive your salaries. April, so when receive your salaries, and May they obviously will also not get any salaries. Now, even upkeep and all of that has become a challenge. And I assured them, sir, this is a really, really sad situation, and something must be done as member of parliament for the area. Now, at the end of May, member or more financial compensation, member or more package to be able to at least ameliorate or more hardship plight now or more go through at the moment. And Andra and after parliament make our constituency to fulfill my pledge. And in total, we share private schools. There were 570 teaching and non-teaching staff. Yatia Omoka, Andra and Umre. And there's an additional 89 volunteer teachers in public basic schools. Once say public basic schools, there are some schools trained teachers or more government payroll or more endorse. They don't meet the target. Ubeko school be na ebia omu here trained teachers edu 10. Now so omu mienupe ana miensape. Enti is volunteer teachers and omu fill the gap. Enti it came to my attention, say across the constituency, we have about 80 now of these volunteer teachers because they are not on the payroll, they were being supported by the community. At the end of the week, we are not PTFY a contribution as support you more. But because there is no teaching and learning going on, and they are not on government payroll, they are not being catered for. Maybe also 89, 570 in all, and to me at year about 659 teaching and non-teaching staff. And I have explained, sir, the sources of funds. Three, my MP's common fund, may use 30% of the 30% of the compensation and Mitia and Drano was from the MP's common fund. My personal contribution was 20%, and well wishers, donors, my friend, a number of over the last 2 weeks since I've been working on this promise I made, a number of business people, a number of philanthropists me approach here, almost so in all, we were able to raise the needed funds. 100% of the funds needed and to me using a Momo transfer until we had direct transfer. Now there will be any middleman beer and hello.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and we did direct Momo transactions. And Mami used this opportunity to also thank the team of volunteers, young men, students from the universities or more because of the closure of schools almost supporting me with the authentication of the data, cross-checking to be sure that these are indeed teachers who were teaching the various schools, and verifying the Momo transactions. So I received it. They directly called all the 659 beneficiaries. Confirming indeed they have received the funds. And I think that this initiative, if a bayan kasa kraba to me I consider a bebuapa because private school teachers also contributed to the development of our education. And as I said earlier, no, OSHA at the basic level, the best performing schools, the majority, as the data shows, are really the private schools. And at this time, that they are public counterparts, or what the public schools receiving salaries at the end of every month, which is justified. That is how we should be. They must receive salaries. It is only fair, say, Yabekai private school teachers at this point in time, because the proprietors are not no longer receiving any taxes, unlike government. They depend on school fees, and once school fees are not being paid, you can understand why the proprietors cannot also pay them or support them financially. I'm hoping, sir, we can consider at the national level and in other constituencies, you better me a year, because we share the plight of these private school teachers are quite heartbreaking. We can do better.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea about school, because at least say private school. The last time any private school association for no because I say now almost complaining about the fact say the same issue but and also the bad dream say school no whether say you be and I say not for a number of proposals about na wamo raise issues about niema say aban di gu akwan ansana wamo back to school. But being a former deputy minister for education, but also the current situation what doing was saying ebinimu akase yema final year students na enco school na observe all the protocols what do you think say at this moment decision I say aban etimi eteki so far say nkola na beko anase omo enco no
yo medase this is a very delicate matter. As I say, you're doing who ye because about human lives. Ubekaya COVID-19 started here. Now, one of the initial myths was that children are not really affected. In Kolano or Munya vulnerable, sir. But as the disease continue to unfold, our virus spreading across countries, mutating and all of that. You can say this initial belief, we've seen stories of 8-month-old babies or 2-year-old babies or teenagers, 13, 14, 15-year-old all over the world. In the virus way, we are all at risk. That point must be emphasized. We are all at risk. And over the teachers and the non-teaching staff, almost at risk. It be they come close to the vulnerable group. Apart from that, we have also been told by the experts say, more underlying conditions. They say, diabetes and all of those, other asthmatic patients and all those other, comorbidities. They are also at higher risk. As I say, you're doing in Kolane, as I say, you're doing teachers. Na you're doing who ye pa. Na you're seeing so in free other countries. Who should be see what France say? Omo reopens schools. Russia reopen here. First week, not 70 children had been infected in France. It's documented all over, and they had to take immediate remedial measures. Let us not joke with this matter, especially now that community spread is so active. A lot of the cases now being recorded, way in excess of 80%, and yet about importation of the virus will be able to coin up there. The primary contacts, they are largely people who have been here, who have gone nowhere. We are spreading human to human spread. The horizontal spread is taking place actively. We all must be conscious of that. In our parliament, I called for a plan. Say, it shouldn't just be about say, could be a school, there be young tenacity, young doing with all the stakeholders. Now, young fashion out a plan. I want to see a comprehensive plan. I have publish it. Say plan in me pacho my MBA schools be. Until let's have a plan. That's the first point I want to make. Second point, so me person me make it, and they said that plan should consider the various distinctions. You can school. All schools are not the same. Levels are different. Media margin there. About KG all the way primary school to JHS. Yen to your especially at the what we call the lower primary level. Lower primary level children from 2 years to about 7-8 years.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me how they are going to observe social distancing.
Yeah.
You don't understand these things. I mean, I have a 7-year-old, I have a 4-year-old. They always must touch each other, run around, hug each other. They play contact sports. How are you going to maintain social distancing with this category of children? Intermediate margin there, lower primary 4 there, they should be at home. And then all the way to JHS2, BEC, we can find a way. You can have an entrance exam for when we decide, say, easy, if we further ease the restrictions, if it is September, because the academic year begins in September. And you see, that is one lack we have, which we must also consider. Say, the next academic year begins in September.
Yeah.
To me, this academic year, is ended. Nobody wished that this will happen. We are getting to June. May is almost done. Let's use June, July, August, and assess the situation, and just prepare for the next academic year. And take our time to develop a plan. Now, about SHS 3-4, final again, we can consider entrance exam to the universities. It used to happen in the past. So that instead say, Munko school now, Munko to now for a whole year. I am saying that because we share the implementation of free SHS, what it did, and it said because we didn't expand facilities and send implement it, enrollment went up, and we've all seen the congestion. Meaning, Uko schools, the dormitories, it is not just maintaining social distance in our classroom. Or are we going to say they don't use don't use the boarding facilities? If they don't use the boarding facilities, say if you're a student at Presec, my alma mater, now say ufre kumasi na uba Presec, how do you manage? If you are going to have to rent your own accommodation, what's the difference between where you are living, the hostel you are living, and the dormitory that you will be in? These matters are quite complex.
Yeah.
And I have listened to the union leaders. They've also made fantastic points. Even about them, would they have PPEs? Are we going to test them to be sure, they are all negative? In Colano, so will we test them? Parents now, more day in Colano school, would they be tested? And all of those.
Because we are, for example, and we are not for more impact assessment now, one more and some of the issues they are raising, you are and one also raising na proposal assembly of their banner. I don't know how a bank crampo cassette or take it on board some proposals now. A better possible because you say you better test every teacher. That's what they are saying. Say not say answer now on back to the classroom, for example. Or say you test all teachers. You test learners. They say you testing Kolano so. And I don't know how you bet to me and only the issues are not for us areas at the moment.
Yeah, and may what Ministry of Education, I say the numbers we were working with, public school teachers, in excess of 300,000. Do we have 300,000 test kits? When we know that even more advanced countries, there is shortage, they are struggling to get the test kits. And that is why, even Ghana so far, testing since they started, and drew 200,000 people. And yet, we are talking about public basic school teachers, not less than 300,000. Do we have the capacity? Can we do it? Do we have the logistics? Maybe plan no one. Where is the plan? Who say other country? United Kingdom say you can go online, get their plan for easing. Prime Minister Boris Johnson will publish the plan for easing. Uko France online is available. You can see their plan for easing. President Macron has made it available. More publish it. We need to have a plan. And Sana will just go and rush open schools and the repercussions, no. And we hear some of the things being said now. Say even with those who are recovering from COVID-19, they have long-term risks and all kinds of long-term respiratory dangers and all of that. And we need to really take our time. I am saying, sir, there should be no rush. Fortunately, academic year we are just now preparing to go into long vac if we were in normal times. As for the 2019-2020 academic year, is gone.
Okay.
2020-2021 academic year, we start in September. Let's learn from University of Cambridge, for example. Such, a high-level university, the cost to the economy, the endowment funds, and all of that. They have said, there will be no returning to school till September, to the 2020-2021 academic year. And this is even a university. How much more at a very lower level where you have children and I will urge circumspection and a lot of caution. Yan to your develop a plan answer. And Sana, we start talking about going back to school. I am not for it. I don't think that at this point, we should be rushing that. When we have the benefit of the academic year ending, and we can look forward to the next academic year, September, and prepare adequately towards that.
Right. Honorable Samuel Okujoto Ablakwa, MP for North Town. Yeah, that's it. But the only thing is that no nebia na no de okoye na teacher fui kakra odi koye ya di twa no mu wi a e be say ona obesan di biaba na say obedi na ekese okay right yeah na me go me teacher me private school teachers na e wo constituency no say wo di biako wo de march ni April di akọ na mboa na yesa extend no ko anima May June na honorable obedi no yekesi o say wa onu sa eno ne asem no anyway yeah that sene so nkoma onu abon adwunchira odi abaye that pa honorable thank you very much all right enti honorable Kujoto Ablakwa wakwakotua private school teachers a won area North Town the constituency na o say the total number of teachers teaching and non-teaching staff at one North Town constituency private schools no amount to 659 nipa otimi momo ekoma wo minim how many MPs are omo betimi aye but truly private school teachers in there I think say one more air because once ankola no ni school ayentua school fees no private school owner oniska odi go tua ne workers ka eno na honorable Kujoto ka say wakope bibi ama teachers private school teachers are war ne constituency no enti anum ya sempa 94.7 ena waso egusu awo etie no na yenhwe proposals anameka say nat ede eba ye no yeni kan entie we na afi ye ba ye be kwa wan so na ye di enkomo entie nat me chere Ghana National Association of Teachers omo sema omo de tudwa ewonra omo ye impact assessment document omo de aba on the COVID-19 30-page document assessment booklet de eba yeni kantie ensem ne bia omo erezi
ye de niema 19 na ye de koye mebo bobi so akyere mu niema ye de koye na bi ni say all schools will have to be disinfected. Say your basic school, say your senior high school, say your private, say your public. I will say school be a disinfected. And no dan chanya ye just say. And sana ye beko school ni akwala bia na say teaching ni bia. I was say buy man nose mask. I was say buy say school bia wonsuo. Sanitation facilities, seminar tissue, and near my sanitizer yin have a school. Afei ensusie ba kopa ye ne say yes say ye be kompo a ye fan chance ye wo candidates no so say GHS ye be start from the GHS 3 SHS 3 because you see once you join the candidate class you go through a sort of emotional trauma. Say no ntimi hu so mu wie school so mu wie yo so mu wie ni so mu nim. And because of the social distancing and other protocols and the congestions in the various schools in the say, even if the government releases the restrictions on all those things, the ban on the restrictions, we want to start with the candidates, meaning say, Form 3, 4, JHS, SHS, and Ebeko Kani. Normal course, ya susu say, pesa class be more than 20. And to san ye mean a dorsum into mean canning in a basan, you mean a yes to say, yes, say a buying a bamanina a ye, you must said ye beya. Ya ye beko school no, a church of no, ye benya and you soon say, Yarabian coaching and Qualano more banos benya hotoso. Now I will phone in ya hotoso say. Omombano aye safe a meeting abesiade enti san ye me na ye ne aban akwadwenwe ho na me I am so hopeful. I'm very hopeful say aban ba gia tum anya sa as a major stakeholder no ye be catch them Prof for say ma omo nko school na be catch about time no say ma omo mba nko school
enti eno de nat for eso ede ebetu edwa ho no no enti say ensem ne de utimi say adwendwena na eguso adwendwene ho enche bia be come so na kodi nkomo but prostate capsules and opay ma menkamfo ema wate wo ye bema na say prostate enlargement na hyase eba odwonso a na oteyaw na odwonso so a eba ntentem onza odwonso ntentem ebu okwa adwonso no ba na ayede ana say wadwonso awie no Ubon says still I don't feel it so to be akachiri and no a signs of prostate enlargement. Na banasa ayakai a draw back pe and no a prostate capsules. Yes, say John Soboko say who use prostate capsules now. O John Soboko a baby prostate no symptoms in every hormone. Johnson tentem na Johnson no a bejai so ena Johnson now tia or bema and also bejai. Enti we bema nkwa dia prostate capsules bema no empower huda why so and you want Zipman capsules or say panyan wo better than enti say we bema we a bema nkwa dia for men only treatment of sexual weakness in men any waist pains and no Zipman capsules right so panyan wo better than na fi sulak mixture and no ya so twan when you namu yare infections bi no wanya Mr. Wada ya men kwachiri unya solak mixture ni bia eno no ena beboa na yi nsansan no nsuo na efi obema mu ba fi oba wase eba ni nyina no ebe ye ni nyina kama ede amaw eno no solak mixture asotwan we solak natural clinic ena ede aba ene okoba bia ye ton enro bia obinya bi ato eho no mo so ena soccer bet was your best bet for sports betting. Inti ene aye kese you know soccer bet see enkan kire wo se trafie wati stay at home, wash your hands, sanitize your hands and afi practice social distancing. Na oye ne sa obo se COVID-19 ene aye tie ye ka ho asem senkola ebe ko school anase wo mo enko no woni ofiefo de bibia aye kama emamo abra mu stay at home na mo wash mo nsa mo sanitize soccer bet. So your best bet for sports betting no na ye ko anim no na me san aka kire wo se semina semina banye semina bia keke oti ase alive soup semina ba ko a ene ye ka COVID-19 no your life matters to us inti stay alive you say we stay alive now one very key preventive measure ene you know obetumi aye abra COVID-19 ye aba no personal hygiene. What you say? Personal hygiene. Ahunidie se wankasa udi wo hu eni. Now, ade ba kwa a live soup ka kire wo ne say, hwe wash your hands debia. Wash your unsa abrena brano na ohoro unsa at least with a live soup. What you say? What a live soup and about unsa under running water. At least 20 seconds there. I will say ultimate what you say soap can save your life. Okay? And use it. Kai say sa amaniaba yedi eba you know a live soap and a kitaimu and yedi eba. Na mobile money interoperability. Wansem and I make catch on. Na ye can mobile money interoperability. Now when we say and then you know across and I you know it to make me send it from one network to another network. What you say? Eguswa edit the ultimate agenda and bro. Me pacho tiwi.
Son boy, man a boss. I wonder, I man a boss. Boss it up, boss it up. Me a go boss it up, boss it up, boss it up. Yeah, we never run, because we know we are the real big boss. Never rush, we never crush. Because we know we are the real big boss. We conquer the storm, break every numb. Boss bring the energy you can't feel numb. Got to know we are the big boss. Boss it up, boss it up. Me I go boss it up. I am the Big Nation president, the big boss. Grab a bottle of Big Boss energy drink and boss it up.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Another quality product from Bell Aqua. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended to persons under the age of 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and persons sensitive to caffeine.
Okay, Yanko Amanaso na yene Uraiko Vincent on the Kasama Ministry of Education. Eko, good morning.
Great Musosho.
I go on a power point to say.
Greatest Musosho. I'm not doing as well.
Yes, so Yahuya na anopay COVID-19 hon koma na ED na na me kind be about Jumedia not for ekudi na wamo say wamo some impact analysis be assessment on the COVID-19 na proposals some de abano bi na me pese me no edi ehon enkomo not edi a number of proposals abba say they say aban no etumi saa niema no ansa na ombeko back to school kra wamo ako for example yen test every teacher yen provide PPEs emma students nkola na beba school ni nyina ene saa niema no mo fa ne saying wo hwa ebeye ebetimi akọ back to school.
Well, Musosho mamencha eyewati phone na me fancha ka sem free asoye hwe wo masua so from Ghana for na no kwe wo mu se yes e be school anasi in be school no koye nkomo a was a share the political impact na share the economic impact na sanso sa share the educational impact and to share the educational impact no say for how long can we keep our kids in the house just because coronavirus about in instances whereby acquiring malaria in various schools. What we do, now say what the health practitioners practice, and say if there's an infirmary, what Pedro Diamano, and I say if it demands yet in the hospital, yet in hospital. Now, as we speak, nobody knows when coronavirus is going to end. So coronavirus will end in the next 2-3 years. Does it mean say we will have to keep our schools shut for the next 3 years? So coronavirus will end in the next 10 years. That is, if it is going to end. And does it also mean that we should keep our schools shut for the next 10 years? And so we will have to be dynamic and live with the virus. What's any virus in it? Because you're living with the virus, we don't mean say when your virus and also on it, we will have to use other specific World Health Organization protocols. A bit in your bois, ama said you say, oh, be schools and far or how be amma. And untina on the 19th of May 2020. A yet Ghana Education Service, so I could show Kraka to come out teacher unions and so on. The almost so urgent and from a time. Until meaning say home popoya ni asha set here and I said not for the Modiaba. And now what it means is say, so you are not a tenable. Why? Because if you want to live with the virus, what it means is say then, in the instances that the president decides that schools could be reopened. You can see a school. Ama say we work for school, you will not have any protective equipment to be an personal protective equipment be able to be a protection. How is the government and how is the Ghana Education Service going to ensure say there's accurate and maximum social distancing in our various schools or in our various classrooms? So is it the case say the Ghana Education Service may allow some parts of the schools, and I say maybe first year for Bitmiako school, now second year for train, and I say third year is Bitmiako school. Normal trauma is enough second years and first years, but because when third years go, what it means is that you have enough classrooms and the social distances may be adhered to. And I say, how is the government going to ensure so could there be a N95 nose mask? Could there be a bit sanitizer, or the school is going to provide enough sanitizers, advantage points in the classroom before you enter a classroom, sanitizers, you what was shown with the Veronica bucket and all that. There are quite a number of things that we could do to reopen school when we deem fit, see it may be a school. And Ghana Education Service in prepare will be say prepare one could be a school when we have not prepared towards the reopening. Now that in Sensenwa, clearly not cares about the health issues of your man and even the teachers themselves. Because the teacher is not protected. Akodana is also not protected. There is a likelihood of the transmission of the virus, which is the coronavirus. And if teachers are prepared, and I see a prepared teachers, how are we going to prepare the teachers? Is it the case they are buying about PPE, they are more, and I say the case, they catch teachers allowances based on general method. So it can be a flat rate. So Yama teaches 100 CDs or 200 CDs every month for personal PPEs, and I say I am Tony and supplying from the school. So some of these thinkings, I think cabinet is supposed to decide. I know say some proposals have will be made, and I say some proposals have already been made. I bit to media the cabinet, but I cannot say them.
Okay, but I go. Like I say, say you go back to school. No, at what stage any war? Ebia at the Ministry of Education level, no stage be any war because you see a B school. Sisi na mene honorable Kuja to Black Card ko na okaso nkebe ya anka yen ka say this academic year required is off. Nanka September ye called the new academic year the next academic year no nanka the sad time now I prepare but me say me who at what stage are you in deciding whether I say you call and I see you call for example at the Ministry of Education. I can't.
But the truth of the matter, and I said, we cannot live with the virus. So we have to live with the virus.
Of course.
We definitely have to live with the virus. But one thing that I can assure you, no matter how the general public can say, proposals are being made. Our company consider as to how
okay.
If say we should relax for the whole of the semester and after the whole of the 10 years the next semester, which is in September now. The question that I will ask is, what happens to the final years, especially those who are in the tertiary institutions, because they are supposed to end the academic semester successfully.
Yeah.
Because when I was completing KNUST, we are around May and I say June, graduation is somewhere in August.
Yeah.
So for somebody like that, how do you successfully terminate the education at the level of final year where we are watching the thesis we are watching our graduation? And so these discussions and also hearing now.
Right.
So Ghana Education Service being Sabia, a bit for all of these things. Said the bear or be our final year no or bit me a in the school successfully and so academic year in September. But that may not be fair to some of them because we also want the plans as to how our bonnet.
Yeah. I get you. Inti what we do is I'm say proposals like you have said, bana eba inti yebetwa na mampanyini kasa, then we see the way forward. And pay edasipa ekono adaje. I got that's okay, we didn't come actually. Nice one. And your Vincent, Minister of Education, PRO, and Edena Casano. I think say at this stage, Rebecca say still no ideas, no any proposals, nana, eba, any adventure, and I go so eba. Into a train for now. Now, if a young baby, you'd back see a brown and penny akasa. Medin the quadru mensa mosho. Yet besiano, Edbesia na yakuyadim is answer, ye non chrono, and abono, and yedi AC haze, abonon cron, inti, not just here, I don't know. He's nothing, you ever go on, and he said, yes, okay, yet besia na yet me akuyanim home. Okay, and yabonon cron pepe, ya back, and now ya kakumasia sante kotoko near the home komopa. This board banom, ye better evaluation of the board, what it means to the Kumasia Sante Kotoko, not the supporters, but the structures, no, ye be the home komopa because you said normally say your former board say ya na board no formal management. What you say? Ya formal board no formal management. And the issue as to say ya retain Dr. Kwamiche and all that, ya babe kum na ye di hon komo ene anopay enti kan ho na ye nkwe anopay ye beda se nyuakwa hodo a ekita mu ye discussion segment no e soccer bet ena ene omo eso emu mutie ya anopay mabie mu dendenden a enya asem ketwa goodness energy filling station anopay mabie mu a mu etie udu ye amount from on the Dodowa road a hodo ena goodness energy ewo na workers e ho nyina no ene wo mabie mu dendenden a wo mu etie anopay bia asempa ena wo de ehyiase ene ye kokowie enti manager our filling station wo Helios upon uno workers ni nyina anopay mu etie ye dendenden munkoso na muntie asempa 94.7 na enam so ama Mr. Believer una we owner of Goodness Energy also just say also what fall in love with asempa just say also asempa ena odinam debia ya chia woni workers ni nyina na mo head office no ewo community 25 ewo tema ya da mase monka ye ho na ene aye kese no manager Raymond and accountant Mr. Moses and auditor Mr. Evans munyina mu eti adwumadie no. Thank you very much for tuning in to Asempa 94.7 maestro yaba ani ebedi kotoko ho nkomo
na wanchia upanka
wow upanka okay bani dia nya dadi upanka
dabi nya
upanka
ani ye sika upanka
upanka ye chia obabia obia
KG hotel
this morning
KG fo nyina
all right
Philip ne KG nankasa so we take you the life panka
nice one eti ye chia upanka anopay koswa na tie Asempa 94.7 any workers amwo KG hotel nyina. Okay, what we do ni say Asante Kotoko board number.
Yeah.
Maestro aba. Na I think say ye be share say anopay ye ne ye pese call journalist this ye ma journalist for ye nwa no central for analyze evaluate the board na ye constitute. On say a number of questions na eba up.
Okay.
What you say? E be you ya maintain Dr. Kwamiche. Now Dr. Kwamiche a board chairman of Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Yeah.
Ena yeyi empanyifo a onyomo eba be yadwuma. now empanyinfo no a odi omo be ye adwuma no e ye empanyinfo akukudam.
Of course.
I catch me say the operations of the club nankasa na ebesisa. How the club is then you operating under Kwame Chero ebesisa.
Yeah.
Because now you are coming to work with Obia or your board chairman of Ghana Commercial Bank.
Yeah.
As your vice. Mr. Jude Atta.
Yeah.
Dr. Mr. Kwadwo Boateng Jemfi or your board chairman of Ghana Exim Bank. Look at the caliber of people. Ansana Mr. Kwesi Osaifori or your chairman Edmark Group and chief executive officer of Rockshore Mining Company.
Yeah.
Pigman by all standards. Alaji Abulamini or a businessman. Lamini Investments. And a lawyer Kwamina Ansa or a corporate lawyer. Mr. Joseph Yauadu, retired director of sports, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Okay. And then you were Miss Evelyn Insia Asare, acting head of sports, Sunyani Technical University.
Yeah.
Onyeni Paketwa. Sunyani Technical University. Onyeni Paketwa.
And a level of a year.
Of course. And
1 vote per year.
Balfour, Kwame Kusi, Utun Force, and Kobia. Enti you be analysis.
Of course.
Yanko Amanasu, Yabana Mino, Aba Abiwi, El Hasi. Now the first person in Kasano, Bismarck Osbempa Ayala from Kumasi, Inshira FM. Ayala, good morning.
Good morning, Bosho.
Na Bibi Aboko dear.
Yanko Pardon, Bibi Aboko.
Okay. Now, what kind of crata manshia at the buyer na sound say based on the recommendations of the committee na Professor Lydian Cancer edano no manshia jinaso edi this board. First of all, and then the catch in terms of the way Kotoko is run na, and I say for the past 3 years the way na Dr. Chei arane Kotoko. Now a board has been put in place into and then say first of all the way Kotoko you be running from now going.
Show me that say na me nchia one ye tie for ne arefo ewo asempa me pay. I think that the question now will be something is within the content of share press release It's a metu against CBB so kaka. The press release now paragraph 1 the last sentence I can't be say a board now yapsi omono. I'm not just going to be supervisors and asset vision drivers of Kotoko, almost sporting performance. Here, Kobo, ya 3 points, ya qualify for Africa. Mumuno, I was a Omushe who said, Kumasi Sante Kotoko as a company, I diabo a viable economic entity. And I think that the difference that is clear. By the recommendation of Professor Lydian Cancer, a 3-man committee, and no matter they just don't want Kotoko to just be a sporting club. They be a staff with the or board to quite a FA Cup, qualify for Africa, Yakobaba, and yet just about the sporting performance, you get 3 points, name Momuno Kotoko. A viable economic entity, and that is, I think, the difference between maybe a chamu board and this board in terms of the scoop and the entire effort in Pedimpo. So maybe coding. Idea to me, Tausha 3 years ago. Letter of Commissioner Nyanse Muno, this women shall barb on Seba appointed Dr. Kwame Chea. Let us say Dr. Kwame as executive board chairman. Now, in this new release, we are forming Kotoko board, then now refers to Dr. Kwame Chea as being retained as chairman of the board. What it means is that Dr. Kwame Chea executive powers are not a work within the board. So you are just been in some. And the ambassador say in a normal corporate setting, here you are executive board chairman. What it means is that you are the head of the board and the head of money. But if we are executive minimum, What it means is that even at the board level, not the board input, after someone to become either the general manager and after the CEO of the new structure now, now I am a debt. Sir, Menshia recognizes the green light I did came from Professor Lydia in Cancer, a 3-member committee. And the entire make us after way special and say only Omoa Omako before the committee and you moved in Comoa. And yeah, almost family say Omu Susu say, and I say impression Omudia after meeting and questions or more answer and say, that 3-member committee, I am very, very bent on identifying administrative lapses and work. Now, Omudi Emmanuel Cross and Kotoko, no Kwame Bunsuno, Kotoko Esperance, chief of case, I a case study. And Minyan Semunu, Mrs. said, this newly constituted board, and they just not concentrating on sporting performance, minimum year, I said, make Kotoko a viable economic entity. Now, you're stripping off the Takabiti, the executive powers on the board, the board chairman, and me and you before. Or two for the other Dr. Kwame as board members, a normal credit as to master and take protocol. And may impression say the document and recommendation of Professor Lydia in Cancer more intimate mood, and the best get out the Bonifano, a development plan for implementation. Our board way based on more competencies. May she identify the media. Based on the recommendation of Professor Lydia and Cancer 3-member committee, enrolling the implementation of that document after
Okay, Mebao, Ayala, young radio, not just say what it means is that now Dr. Kwame Che will not run the day-to-day affairs of the club. Yes, sir.
Yes, basically
the day-to-day affairs of the club, Nana. Or no, in charge, young to player, and say that day-to-day affairs, no, everything is
exactly. Yes, basically that's what I think. First, now, executive board chairman now on the head of the board and head of management. This time around, only some power to be the executive board chairman, but now a member of the board as the head. And there will be a separate body and other entity running the day-to-day affairs of as being appointed by the board, not almost so ever reported to the new board now. You are constituted now. The only statement there. Now, I think that the impression I mentioned created about Dr. Kwame Che's significance or board way, and I said, oh, yes, they say, I won't recognize it single-handedly. We financed the club in the last 3 years. And again, now they want to push Dr. Kwame Che in the Professor Lydia and Cancer Committee, and no more. They want to push into a more corporate sector. Now, with other people like almost environment. Now, after so when Mesha talks about the blend of incorporated board, in terms of the principles, continuity. And that will suggest to you, say, Mesha will have some level of consistency in terms of institutional memory, any new the new face, someone who come from the old to come into the new direction and inform them, so, yeah, that's how you will be paid. And yes, that is how the capacity is being framed in the new board appointing and rather.
Now, you share the board, any what I say, am I idea of the kind of personnel Kotoko ebe here to execute the mandate now a war diabano. And also, so what can you realize say Professor Lydia Cancer Committee no enwi na juma and okay this paragraph, I think the last but one paragraph was say against the backdrop of the recent disquiet among the stakeholders and without prejudice to the outcome of the ongoing Professor Lydia Cancer Committee, His Majesty has tasked the board to rebuild Asante Kotoko brand both for its performance on the sporting field and as a viable and self-sustaining economic entity, and ultimately reclaim its prominence. Okay, so now Edumana Mansha air task you even though report na Professor Lydia Nkasa Baba enya ready no Mansha Nkasa a task you on what to do and I captured here. Now me can't this because of the caliber of people are ya fa womo a oma form board no. Now everybody na catch here in the personal akotokobe here to execute some mandate na a otumfo ediamo no.
Very, very good question. Now, Moso, officer would say tax year. You go back again to, I think, that paragraph 4 or the same release. You know. Now, when Mensha was talking about Dr. Kwame being pushed into a more corporate setting, now already a blend of bankers, business executive, corporate lawyer, and sports expert. Over the principles now, in the wisdom of Professor Lydia in Cancer 3-member committee, and it should be the backbone of how young Kotoka. I think that we continue with the free work. Normally, I can very, very integral into the entire identified gay men. Any Mrs. In Siasari, or Mumbra, and among a normal Mensha LSC, they don't just want continuity, but almost believe corporate dynamism and integrity, and financial prudence. And the underlying word was a prudence because may assure that but based on a normal, the 3-member committee, Professor Lydia Nkasa almost who said. Dr. Ebia watu tikedi egu kotokomu. Nanso so no ebia the account from Nkofo Omashia Omono and even the finances have been very, very prudent because untimi koto players to all. Na next season yeah the bear is ato loan, near the 8 ato transfer, near Sakota another 13. Esana, you are not doing what going for the financial prudence. And the Mensha is recognized and say, look, going forward, we want continuity. You have a corporate dynamism and integrity. You have a financial prudence and professional expertise on the work now. And may assure that what may sound complicated is that if we are able to get as principles guiding the vision of the new board, then the sporting performance and the protocol as a viable economic entity, a bit near Timu, not a Timi Ayuma, and a rough one and a mammy. I think that in terms of more personal achievements, baby or my year or more expertise it is not beyond them. Now the religious one say again the entire area Mensha will say against the backdrop that Professor Lydia will be the questions of now Argentina Kotoko board the Abianka Ebehu Akopani was so Yebehu NCC as in Kotoko circles of one a rep also Yebehu Ebia Kotoko lady and our constituent bodies in terms of stakeholders and so be appear on board. So I think that is why Mensha is saying, look, Munyan Tobasia. These are the men to do the job. Name said Professor Lydia Nkasa, actually member committee review Majuma. And now we will identify that Yamfa another stakeholder be another 1 or 2 be meka na enye a whole border or tradition of matters and take now omuntimi execute the target now
yeah, but now Obibeka said Charlie, we have been here before. I said merry-go-round from Herbert Mensah time. PV being your board chairman. Now your former management Herbert and the lady over here no. Now the value is the same. Will be the message. Abraham say, oh, Moshe, the value is the same. How different is this one? Because we the history about Semino and baby Ayabedri. And then the chest said this one will work. A better workable because so we share mandate in the way a man share target when the ambassador club no could dry. And I don't know whether something different will be done this time around to achieve sa adiwe.
I am very, very legitimate for Mobia. Also, the expectations every show for this board because Ukraine we've seen the border a very, very rich in terms of human resources.
Okay, Ayala Jinaso, Jerome, good morning.
Good morning, Mosho.
Okay, Minia Ayala, wrap up quickly, then you can come in. Why? Ayala, me watch your traso.
Okay, but so the number I can say in the past, you have reached board in terms of human resource. Yet, our board is say unya a feeling from the general public. You do have road radar. We name border in terms of individual achievements in the mobile. No move to the department I have, but so what is the difference? I will choose my words very, very carefully. These will be the expectations of the general public about to be about because of precedent and then no my yehuda. But the all we tell me about the idea now I will move account of what this board will do better than the other in the past. I think that probably this will be the first time. We are appointed border. Board no information, it's not just coming from one quarter. A boom there was a reforming board, it is coming out of a work of a committee. I share who said there have been an administrative lapses in Kumata and the way forward, and I informing the choice of leading this data. Yeah, point you, and we are back. Yes, also, we are sure that Professor Lydia in Cancer, a committee, every day, on what template, and after a development planner, or we free. Or more recommendations to move as documents, we will send to this board. They are mandates in terms of a new movement to implement it. It will be different from the other in the past, where the board has a more can you implement or go the amount of targets. This time around, there will be given a document as the board said, look, we should agree that we implement the one for the weather.
Right.
That is very, very important.
Right. Okay.
We've had issues, even for Herbert Mesa. Herbert was there after the former board. This time around, I want the board to meet, have their own vision and get the document from Professor Lydia and Cancer, then out of their own wisdom, to their management and head of management, either a CEO or a general manager. And I think that is more corporate. I don't see the difference. As the CEO or the general manager, will not then come saying, I have the powers of manager in terms of my appointment. You may be a BB, and also, no one back here, means control to board, and when you really do open for in a more corporate environment. And I think that this is a right way to do it.
All right. Okay.
What they want to implement and appoint or move CEO aside. Not only these measures, so these are the identifiable differences.
The person, okay, right, okay. Remember, I don't play Medasipa or say Bismarck Osbempa Ayala, and Yerena Chujin. Now, my main called Jerome Ochri, so still I have some 94.7 year discussing the new Kotoko board under Dr. Kwame Che. Now, I'm for me, so that 3 year syndrome, no. Will be by 3 years that okono and they come to as the board chairman na evaluation and Jerome, I realized that this particular board, more tenure be out normally say man share form board once was you ebia for 2 years, for 3 years. This one I realized say bibia sa anyhow nti omo ye adwuma na. But first of all, how do you assess board way members board there Bay?
Well, there's no surprise in there because Usha, how Mensha even explained the choosing of the 8 people. That is Dr. Che Fima. Even for Dr. Che himself, Usha Sename Mensha actually Muditia almost not finally Bimna. Bibi Anyam Wong because Usho the kind of printer and they saw being young Crofua or they are willing to work. I mean sacrifice their time for Kotokono. Adding. And especially so being no Binswa. Why ready say apart from the time no if you are in the council Buano and don't see another difficult thing altogether. And you know and Yamingwa P said Dr. Che, for instance, was retained because, I mean, when she actually moved into a fano, Senator Nisika Aboa, I think it would have been very, very difficult to just put him aside and go for an entirely new setup without him. No matter how some people feel about Dr. T coming back, that point about, his support, financial support he gave, any one of us could have easily overlooked it. So who overlooked it, then perhaps you have to pay him back. And you make a fresh case for whoever you would go for. But looking at the 9 people, in fact, 4 of them, so the Dr. Tekanwa, 4 of them have had something to do with Kotoko in the past. It shouldn't be too difficult for them helping the 5 others to really live up to expectation, as Mensha expects. But all the way to China, a Jumano ne a Semnan Kasankasa edaho. And until I may catch and go for some more when I just say Dr. T and Pound anyway, they should slow down because we now the movie pain. You need to be very, very careful with whatever celebration you have and expect that Kotoko problem, as Mensha has stated in the 9-paragraph statement, will be addressed.
Now, Jerome, young share say now that Dr. Che, I don't know, but Obetme decided to still be the executive board chairman and run the day-to-day affairs. And I said this effectively, I just had to mean everything.
I think that will be determined by the board. But Mamumi Erimfi said on this board he's a chairman. As to whether he will be executive chairman, it's another thing. And I'm sure the board will determine that. Because, these are matters I'm sure they have the capacity to decide on. It's not for us to tell whether or not obey executive chairman, now only executive chairman. I think it's something the board will determine. My interest, however, will be the composition of the management. Because, Mushu, say, your former board say, with, reputable businessmen, distinguished people on it. I think the management that comes after this should be the type that can be in sync with this board. Such that if you ask me, and even if you don't ask, I'll say it, the current management has to be thrown away. Because they won't fit. Even if you say they should stay here, maybe one or 2 people will fit, but the entire setup cannot support this board. With whether Dr. Chibe executive chairman or non-executive chairman, for me, it's not my interest. My interest is the board that takes over from here. And we shouldn't forget, Professor Lydia Cancer Committee also has some work coming up. Some report that will define certain things in the club. Yeah. And for me, apart from this board, you need a management that can understand the kind of issues that report will talk about. So that, solve problems now. Solve with people who have the competence to understand today's football and how to move things along a professional path. Not the type we have seen in the past where gossips and pettiness more or less dictated the pace.
A lot of people raise the issue, for example, about the kind of people are now Dr. Che and Yomo Eye Juma. What the Kaka say straight away, where the caliber of people are our board with. Like I said, the management at the moment, Omana, Dr. Nyomo Yajumana cannot support management, and the board, and the vision we are manshia at the attrade. But Abraya train ama Professor Lydia Cancer edit ne recommendations aba. Now your former board now how does the formation of this board affect, for example, the recommendation at ABA Ebebano? Because your former recommendations in Emaye. And you be say
so like if you are looking at things on the surface, you would think it's a problem. And I can understand those who think it's a problem. But what they shouldn't forget is that statement, so the board was formed following the interim report of the committee. It's committee in the Juman on the final report in Koye. But for the interim report, and nona I fear Jinaso a formal board way. And for me, that is satisfactory enough. Because Anye Biano, Omenya, let's say, BP Trese, but he betting a formal board. And that is why I mention makes reference to the committee. So we share statement now. It doesn't take anything away from the powers or the work of the committee. It only acknowledges committee no I get on interim report and no marginal so their formal board. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. The SAC say committee need view on the report bar and on a board no ever share report no the Safata say you never share the administration of Kotokomo because I mean the Messiah statement makes it clear. Say they are the final authority when it comes to policy formation for the club. I mean, that is the board. I am thinking, say, once the final report of the Libya in Cancer Committee, they can use that with other ideas they have to really get a policy direction for the club and then get a management in place that can really drive the club through, not on sentiments, but based on some of the things stated in the Mensia release. So, young coppers, I can tell you, we will be back to where we have been all these years.
Maybe, but now, Nami Bisa Ayala Elia said, Baby away, Sadi will be away. We have been there before. And board Abba, because I remember one of the strongest board at Kotokwa for me, board Nana. Mekai Bodana, Mr. Mwakuhine, Holiday Inn Hotel, Osekwame Despite, Achampunchi, Glyco. That was a solid board.
2004, 2005.
Yeah, that board, I think that board was not case my crowd, that board, so. Yeah. Now, you said the now, what would be the difference? I mean, Kotoko supporters with me, I wish me say, Bibiasa. I mean, because that way, as a musical chess, you're kwaba.
Exactly. But mature article, maybe I'm not going to publish it. For me, there are two sticking points, or let me say even one. The main sticking issue, which this board must resolve, is how to finance Kotoko. Look, if we can get a sustainable plan, Senya Kotoko Sika Semtie, Senya Yebekano, Senya Yebefesia, Mushu, me catch us as in Bienio. Me share my drink, and my drink is based on the Mehu, and I the Uzu would do too many. And they say, Assembly Nati, Ayesika say, Ekobase, board need me to share, and that is my expectation. I want to mean a sustainable way of financing activities of the club. Ebia, Yakoto players, Yakoto timbers, Yejia players, Yejia coach, Yema, Ama Kotoko, and Yababy Papa Jina. Sa, Sikasamna, a fast answer. You never be Papa this year. I send Bien Webeba. But who say Yantimia no, Naya Yen Nako Basse, Nipa Naya. Nipa nkron a ɛwɔ board no so no baako ana mienu bi ɛna de musika ɛbɛyɛ bibia then I can tell you in some few years to come we will come back to this point because Mosho once nipa no bɛyi ne sika sɛ ɔde bɛyɛ bibi ama club na yɛnhyɛ dan nim sɛnea ɔbɛnya ne sika bie mu no ɛbɛdu baabi no sɛ wambrɛ a he will call the shots. It will be difficult to move the club without the person's financial assistance. And that has been one source of Kotoko's problems. I mean, a big source of our problems. Into the media, there should be a way of financing the club so that board members no nipa 9 or board no so no omuba kwana minubi and they musika be because once they become the sole pocket to draw money from to run the club, we should be prepared for conflict because and that is what we saw in the past administration where, and Mensha even says Kwame single-handedly financed the club. And all of this is how do you advise him? How do you even bring plans for him to accept? Say plan idea and then the far. We plan a good setting or the better time because now there.
Right.
And I think that is where the sticking issue lies. If we can solve that issue, I don't think we'll have any problem.
Yeah, but the all cannot, right? Because for example, what they has example say you realize even though team no board no, one person a finance club no.
Exactly.
And obvious
exactly.
You name say board no, but one person that didn't sika bibia. Now
exactly. And
now over the years no Kotoko people say a gold mine a bit me a self-sufficient club but that is the reason why successive administration Dr. Keke na say ubisa Dr. Kwame ya state say in the past 3 years single-handedly or no nisika na aye now the so share the task ahead krana it sounds demanding more sika krampo
more money
because for example and we open you say manshia per Africa Cup trophy na now we state say ultimately to reclaim because ultimately no here manshia pa.
Yes.
And it's in italics. What do you say? Say ultimately
the stress on that alone should tell you
that's it. In fact, yes, Oma stress it on it say to reclaim its preeminent position among the elite clubs in Africa. And the whole categorical. Now we are no free one man. Or science Manshia Direct Board we say Omon set it up Kumasi Asante Kotoko Academy.
Yeah.
Now I'm establish it. Okay, my social you know wait but academy. You know any youth policy and all that. Now it demanding more money. What you say? No so idea back what me say but the whole can say how do they raise money for example to achieve Sanyama way because this Dr. Kwame Che administration no say 5-year development plan. Yeah, who that?
The 5-year development plan, and then I'm in energy Dr. Musapon. The plan was there. He was part of those who went around speaking about the plan. But who now kuta plan? Obviously, kuta scano. Nipa no so no nyadwen. It better na plan na yeduma.
Oh, okay.
Everything I make say at this point, the financing of the club should be diverse. It should be from multiple sources. Send a beya say I am a honey free bar. Now me feel say me from sika mwabi because metweska my brea. There are other reliable sources whether or not Jerome is part of it, we will found the club and move the club forward. That is what it should be. And this example Almas is here, no perfect example. 5-year development plan. And I heard Dr. Musapon talk about it so well. There were aspects of it and so good. But you can't need to. And you know now, auto players, and you know auto players. You need to be answer. I have so and yes, at your coach, auto players. I hear other things. It is our plan. Who throw we are, who the better them because who needs to who the fund this our plan. Number 2, who can say a gold mine? It's true, but hey, say gold mine that as I said, the honor say gold was what. So who could now free gold na gold number. I saw it be our excavators, machines like and now I mean mining machines would be pass as in to gold. And no na as a board no a yes here. Yet the gold mine so you better than a gold no polished on the market for people to buy and bring us money. That is what the board must do. It's since the idea a Juman Senator no a coming qua anka board no tie bibia no musu the person we pan on friend to because sanko yes the usual business we have been used to. Now board members, no more kasa, no more promise. When the reality hits, fair, it is time to commit money and resources to the management of the club. Now our resources now. That is where the problems will start. And that is not what Menchia or Kotoko supporters want to see this time. And within a man, a human year, and Menchia statement, my kinds are, I do baby, who say, Menchia wants Kotoko to be positioned where everybody will enjoy from the club. It makes the point to say, even the tax or the Ama board, no crown, are ambitious. And no child say, human. It's immediate. The every board, no harm, say. Kwanya ebe faso apeja club na siho, especially with issues of money. That's why ideas there. Some of us can even give ideas, but say we need to carry the party ideas now. So Jumano enkusi baby ya. Itu no. There is kwanya ebe faso wenyeska supporters. I mean, everybody talks about Kotoko having a lot of supporters. How can we get supporters to, for instance, contribute to the club in a more organized form? I had a call from someone from Senegal. He was talking about contributing financially to the club. From Senegal, he's a Ghanaian. There are fans out there who wants to pay.
Okay.
They are willing to give as much as the club wants. But there is no avenue for them to send those donations and those contributions. A more organized avenue as to how we can get supporters to contribute. It will be one source of funding some activities of the club.
All right.
Talk shop, showmanship, some of the things we have been used to. Then I fear we might just come back to where we have been.
Okay, Jeremy, no baby, but normally I am not share time limit. Women say you be mature as a clear departure from the way I na your matter your former board for 2 years. Where the I'm say your time limit be and also what does it say?
I think it's one of the things clearly missing, like you are saying, but it will come. I have no doubt in my mind. Say we are still in the formative, moments of the board, and I'm very sure. Say so. In the last 2, 3, 4 weeks, when share issue statements on Kotoko, and I am very sure that by the time the committee submits its final report, now see the formal management in the man, I am definite, sir, there will be a statement to that. A statement in that regard.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pay. Okay. We are talking Kumasi Asante Kotoko. A few of the messages are about Menken Kaibi Nafe, Yentumi Enkoyanim. We are live on Facebook, Asempa 94.7. Later on, Yababa, na Yene, the other stakeholders, Wumuso, Attraction and Common. Today we are doing journalist, NT, and now UTC and Central for Ibri, Attraction and Common. Adubo 4 Ajekum, a die-hard Kumasi Asante Kotoko supporter. Adubo 4 Ajekum. Thank you very much for tuning in. Back to consensus media na the nyagis edu me da say no message with the abba. Now very solid. Corona has presented us with a fine opportunity to make things work going forward. Hopefully they will deliver for Asante Kotoko. Banana Danubian fashion and also edit the message abba El Hasenu. Now the value is the same. This Kotoko new board will fight within 1 year. The media will attack them after 3 to 4 bad games. Attack. Accusations and insults from their fans. Then they form a committee to investigate them. The next day, board dissolved. Nothing special about their new board. From Emmanuel Tagore Sterling and Ode Way Abba. Was it good morning, Uncle Mosho? Now, let those sports journalists and their evil plotters in and around the team make any attempt to denigrate these astute characters just because they have been appointed to serve Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And they will hear from some of us. This is a strong warning to those loose talkers claiming to love the team more than anybody. Their cohorts in the media and every supporter Never again are we going to tolerate their treachery, deceit, hypocrisy, and useless propaganda. I am Evans Osei Dista Tesano Ena Odifri Ebaye. Very strong words there from Evans Osei Dista. All right. Mamienshe. Now Akwesiminta ewo Medina Music Center. Akwesiminta Medina Music Center. Eho ena uwo ewo Zongo Junction. Otie Jumadino anopei enchekese enkoma Akwesiminta Medina Music Center. You are tuned in at Ubia 80 Zongo Junction, Medina. Now, I believe you are good. Yes, I'm good. Now, my problem with the board formation is that why is it that the supporters front were not represented? Find answers for me, please. Franklin, National Health Insurance Authority, and Oye Ajuma. Franklin, we will find answers. You ask and see what will come out of it. Messages no be na eguso eba also betimi e de odi aba no pay Amadu Mojefa also you are tuned in a utie dwumadi and then anopay over Facebook messages no so be aba now I mean a few of the Facebook messages na fe also menken kan na yentumi enko yanim elhanom now okay we Same Kwame Poku the message or the abanye. What Kotoko need immediately? Or see immediate structures, technical and scouting department, competent administration, source of funding, sponsorships, women team, academy, including under 13, under 15, under 17, long term clubhouse, training complex, set up academies all over Ghana, possibly a stadium. And also Ede Nedie Abba El Hadamono. Now, was say Frimpong Isaac, because the board is from Mansia, people are careful the way they talk. Well, Emmanuel Tagore Sterling, I say, I might not know the new Kotoko board capabilities. They might have degrees and have achieved a lot in life as a whole, but they don't come close to Nana KJC, Sami Kufo, Alhaji Inji, even Kempon or Sir Kwame Despite and Kwabena Kesi. The names doesn't guarantee success and continental trophies. What will be of essence? What will be the essence of the board if Dr. Che is single-handedly still going to finance the club? The fans should be their expectations or should lower their expectations. And also, Ede Nedie Abba. PK Amofa was say Asante Kotoko will be great again. Thomas Duche was Mosho. Where is Coach Opele? And I want him to join the discussion this morning, please. All right, we'll do that. And also there, Prince Young was say wish the new Kotoko board all the best. Fabulous, the best team in Africa. Live on Asempa 94.7. Facebook messages nibi and Amakan Ediamamono. Just listen to this. Nafi yen and twa so anopay.
Million Ghana City with soccer bet. I wasn't expecting this. From grass to grace, I was nobody, now I'm somebody now. I own a car, I own a house, and now I'm a manager myself. Indeed, it's a dream come true.
And you, what would you do if you were the next winner? With SoccerBet, enjoy a variety of virtual games and bet on your favorite sports. Enjoy amazing bonuses and payouts or by visiting any of our shops or at www.soccerbet.com. Review the winner inside you. SoccerBet, your best bet for sports betting.
Yes, Mobo. Na ya diso ewo kwanya ye faso esuade. Joy learning e ye de kan kra wo my Ghana mu. Say ye suade ewo TV so. The nadia school for dodo no a. Eni a church for dodo no a. Eno won agye atomu. Ye nkotie se de Ghana suafo. Eni a church for bi agile joy learning. Tumedie yi atomu.
Ye sha se ye hwe sa channel we. E bia timi kan etro. Mas ana ye timi so vina say. Etna ho na ye hwa. Na ye hwe de we a teacher ni so chire na. Ye kwa class asa so na ye tena se na ye hwa. Etimi nya ntiase na ye twere ni yi.
Joy Learning program no a program a beboa akyerɛkyerɛfoɔ ne adesuafoɔ nyinaa kama ɛboa ɛma ɔmo timi improve ɔmo adekyerɛ.
Joy Learning program multimedia adwumakuo ɛde aba ɛwɔ multi TV digibox so yɛne yaboafoɔ bi ɛte sɛ SES Kenneth Wolo Afrique ɛna kambo mu ama adesua papa bi a yɛsua ɛwɔ TV so ɛnɛ yɛde aba mmɔnten a baabi a wowɔ bia no yɛhia ne sɛ wowɔ wɔ digibox nso wobɛtumi asua deɛ bi. Joy Learning. Learn.
Joy Learning, a not-for-profit initiative by the Multimedia Group Limited Educare Trust Fund, supported by SES, KNET, and Wolo, a smart way to learn.
Personal meto. Intina 1x bet for me for one diagro cra. Amu arts no akakra kankwa. Udiana partners. Nebo options now. Ho, yanum phone nibi. What a bet in area no. Utumi toy insurance the peso say. Who say will bet in say ya. Utumi toma company no. Intiko 1xbet.com. Ne creative account says ya.
Hey, I just called him into pa na na dia wan for say ye ja na ba no say oh obi do for bi o na o kan for prostafik e de ma me enti se sia me dwonso a me mre kura bi me da so a me da na ho dwonso sem bi an ha me oh na afa no what prostafik nka aba adu papa no me dia maka ho asem adi ho adanse ya abre prostafik adu papa ebua ama mema prostate e wan den na ma yankwatenten no sa wo sha asese wo bre ansa na wa dwonso obi a dwonso na etwetwasi ana bank tenkete obi a odunso mprepi ana dwumrem obi a odunso ntentem na science nso nyina kyerɛ sɛ o prostate no ɔhaw ɛyɛ aba ho Prostafit Solar Herbal Clinic ɛna de abadwa so enu papa fie no ana frɛ 0245-616-028 Prostafit ɛma numbi ɛna bɛma a wɔne mfie du nwɔtwe ɛnso numbi Prostafit nso bɔkɔ saa adwadie nkrato yi FDA ahwehwɛ mu agye ato mu sɛ ɛyi.
I just want 1 million Ghana cedi.
Asempa FM.
I wasn't expecting this. From grass to grace. I was nobody, now I'm somebody now. I own a car, I own a house, and now I'm a manager myself. Indeed, it's a dream come true.
And you, what would you do if you were the next winner? With SoccerBet, enjoy a variety of virtual games and bet on your favorite sports. Enjoy amazing bonuses and payouts or by visiting any of our shops or at www.soccerbet.com. Review the winner inside you. SoccerBet, your best bet for sports betting.
Sɛ wopɛ sɛ wohohoro mframaja kyɛnse anaa tank mu a fa nsuo gu mu ma no nyɛma wei bɛma mframaja biara a aka kyɛnse no mu apue na ahwie nsuo no firi kyɛnse no mu ɛwɔ sɛ nea ɔbɛhohoro mframaja kyɛnse no mu hyɛ ntadeɛ bi a ɛbɛbɔ ne ho ban bi te sɛ mpaboa ahwehwɛniwa mframaja nkatanim ɛne biribi a ɛbɛbɔ ne nsa ho ban ɛwɔ sɛ LPG ahyɛn etumi nya kɔkɔbɔ nneɛma bi te sɛ nkanea ana se kokobo atwerɛdeɛ ɛwɔ sɛ yɛtae hwɛ hunu sɛ kyɛnse na yɛde kora mframaja ne ho baabiara ɛnwe naakye ana ɛnsɛe yɛhunu biribi saa a ɛwɔ sɛ yɛfrɛ ɛho nimdifoɔ nkratoɔ yi efiri National Petroleum Authority aswɛ.
I just want 1 million Ghana cedi with SoccerBet. I wasn't expecting this. From grass to grace. I was nobody, now I'm somebody now. I own a car, I own a house, and now I'm a manager myself. Indeed, it's a dream come true.
And you, what would you do if you were the next winner? With SoccerBet, enjoy a variety of virtual games and bet on your favorite sports. Enjoy amazing bonuses and payouts or by visiting any of our shops or at www.soccerbet.com. Review the winner inside you. SoccerBet, your best bet for sports betting.
Okay, you better so now. I can't just 10 minutes near we maestro. Na wrap up. Yabema etie for abamu yade the last 5 minutes bama mu na afi obi aso ede ye ne nkomo aba na afi yetumi akọ yanim ehọ no. Mr. Michael Nyampon ono na ayekasa no MJ Grand Hotel ne dia otiase MJ Grand Hotel ne dia na o say please today my last born is celebrating her birthday. Kendra Inshira Pokua Nyampon. Okay. Kendra Inshira Pokua Nyampon. Today is your birthday when you're 6 years from your father, Mr. Michael Nyampon, the chairman of MJ Grand Hotel. Inti akulano ya wishing happy birthday.
In fact, a special one.
Kendra
Kendra
Nyampon. and the last one no
Oparijan dear no
Oparijan but oko second takwa dia Ghana food here on says second takwa de from Fenia Group. Now the chairman of Unicorn Group of Companies, Mr. John Justice Bonny, Mr. John Justice Bonny, OTA Jumadin our second takwa de wasida 105.9. Onona oye chairman of Unicorn Group of Companies. And check us here.
And salute to pa.
Ebo Blankson.
Okay. And I went to happy birthday to my son, Kwabena Oparijan, popularly called Junior Chairman of Sacred Heart School. May God bless your new age, my homeboy from Oparijan. And also a very special one. No, never pano heavy. And we in a heavy birthday wishing that Emma the young boy and Chenny Papa
and Chenny Papa Oparijan, your editor of the Inquisitor newspaper.
Of course.
Now, Maestro, na Techima 40 so good one, my boss. You are doing a great job. Keep it up. Special to you and your fantastic crew. We are listening to you live from Techima. What's your friend and entry boost yakon? Techima for an open beer messages from Techima. Techima, I'm on fire in the Okay, so what the colleagues and also I can't edit board on. I mean, you watch me briefly and then microphone lines also.
Okay, boss player, I think you Central for will be a fantastic job. I mean, from different angles. Now, Kakame can say Jerome is one person, in my candid opinion. There are some to Horma, Sedusi Canono. I am feel say there's a bit of objectivity in the way or analyze issues. No? And of course, the questions will keep coming. What you say because Yama committee ejuma no the mandate of the committee no enyuma no ebiana could be expect to say committee no fa the report mra on fa recommendation mra on fa na advisor na mention expecting nyina mra Ghana fo nyina hu kotoko fo nyina hu going forward no say yes set up the board of directors
Songo say we are in charge Dr. Kwame in charge
I also know na changes nyina but you can't begrudge him because oye adwuma ema kotoko and okasa so a ekọ akiri nti ono so ye bebo na baso but the prudent questions are bisa say whether I mean the core mandate of the committee no sabi e ba bontene na ekobo bi e wo board no so a how would that person work?
Ebiana
because you see mentioning the no untimi en question bibia and mention the assemble that just when baby ogina a work. Number 1 me eyi pa ne say boss player sa Joseph Eduno ka committee no me feel say adwuma kese pa committee ni nyina no or na ye because as the director of sports ma Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology and with his vast experience sports mo especially football mo no dey akwachi me catch you say minim no abra ye African University Games minim no the organization in the strength of a normal what here technically in fact he's a coach what you say and a director of sports ma a whole university set up no enti enyanwa wa say bia professor Lydia and cancer your man appointment na kra no was who when Joseph Boame kakra na ye hunu kwan ye befa so ye beto tokotoko enti ono so be mu no enya dia nwanwa but one thing is key na no me be kind I say wo hwe the mandate board we run here I was say we another committee who will take care of the structural development of Kotoko. What you say? 1 and no. Number 2, I was say we a committee being so and I say a group be almost be to coin to the other African countries clubs be no to say be a TP Mazembe nom any Elali nom Zamalek nom any San Pedro nom umetimi live up to expectation no omuko sua bibi ba ku menu bi wo horom no de ba na ye de be ye Kotoko no but the questions will still go me feel say bia time ni onye sanke ye be komo we na o su ti sana na mu the time no no
my chef was me 5 minutes now can I want to abide by it
okay you need another time
okay right but that's kwaku be maestro no okay na is that okay yampon okay Kendra birthday no Kendra is that na Kendra birthday radio no inti we are na Kendra be so tini din already no 0302216545 and 0302216546 we are still live on Asempa 94.7 but you nin komo no pay e wo issues na abani nyina Kumasi Asante komo ye di no na ye hwese di sitem but you need say 0302216545 and 030221656. We are live on Asempa 94.7. 104.7 NNA yede and 7 no ebro no na when we see the city okay enti ubetumi afrem or say I wish my son Alex Ajete of Hinas Learning and Care Center located at Teshi Agleza or say you turn 14 years today. I pray for God's protection and favor upon your life. Happy birthday to you. Now I say and also any dear hormone and I say a chamber and a hall self-contained for rent. Okay, or say a what Teshi Agleza. Never be kind of one sisi ya but odin the same. Kofim kwa buye tu nka. Enka wo.
Yes. You bet there up in Swasi. No, one down my end was to say I can say no cry board, what a some part Kotokano, Dr. King Obatan Yaman because Dr. Kelbaye. I do not in the last 3 years I am a Bobo Ghana. I want to get football, I do Pepper. They could support us near Peter say. You better board, no one even team name. You better stop and so Naruma. You was Shabby, I could last 3 years.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Maybe I told you to say.
Maybe coach Abraham in Kansani. Name Dudwana from ya Purugu Chakapama. I think I am a Dankasa. A son say, it's honor Professor Dr. Kwamiti. Mimi say, ye mubino, ye can say, we be our passy. We be our passy. And maybe a Carmen Quanka Timino. Yam bless man for a long time because Okita Adrempa at the Makumasia Santi Kotoko. Yet Tanity Kotoko supporters in Tanity, no Mumbompa Yam Faman, Medasi Bibi. Okay, me so Medas say any Odia also Diaba, also with me at the Odiaba, but you didn't say. Hello. What did he say? Yeah, too. This is agents in your gym. That 3 years, no be back more years, 3 years, and say, Jim, Uncle Fobu, one more, you more canana, I'll more on my 3 years in the Abbaswa, near head the year crusade, Nipana, Jumako, and Yashi. It's immediate damage, the Panas and the man of Crown, which your chum, the Dr. Kwamichi or Paye, Yanana Kasaka, and my money's got there, so Kwame, Koyajmano, Kwame to the bottom of the Yajman, Sabe, Kophobia, no Muyajmana, Yafisa, and board number of Watano, Dr. Kwamichi, no Munya, Yajman, said the cover of the century, maybe a Payano, or Koyajan, and also Shagan and Munyamno, yes, and Tosan Munyamno, so near Kumpuding, said the Paya never bit me up to the Mokumas and the Godamata, and yet to make it to a Jina, it's like a baby, but say, never pay my pet, that is like a jet, which also, I need to some now, Bama Prof of myself and the Croconia, Manali's phone, but there will be a match. Bye.
Bye. Me pa show did say. Okay, or no, and what's your first say?
Uncle Kwasi, competent.
Okay, Uncle Kwasi Kasay.
Ready, Uncle Kwasi competent, my friend was in Kasay. Yada, Otu for us, Mr. Waterboy, my Yanibaji, the Makotoko, Sumway, really, I maximum person, the catcher Kotokoita was there. Omunyo, Omunta, Kotokoitina, Yami at my baby, Yaminti, amen.
Amen. Okay. Yes. Now, Frank Todd Amwa Ediaba or say Mr. Du has been with football over the years, now serving on committees at the RFA level in the Ashanti region. He's also a match commissioner. Frank Todd Amwa Ampa and then I guess a panel experience game emupa. Yedbesi anmo yetimi emfa of any biabium abonu ndu pepepe na yebesore so opanka at the moment so okeji hotel on opanka okeji hotel utie pa
na bi koma keji ni so ankasa
na nkoma director so director ye no okay enti yedbesi anmo na ya sorry so once again happy birthday to Kendra Inshirapokua Nyampon of MJ Grand Hotel, Mr. Michael Yampon. Ona obana also wanya mfiensia ene enti happy birthday to you, Kendra, from your father, Mr. Michael Yampon. Yedebesia na ya sorry so adwanhira aba na fe ono so ede ya setenmu no aba betwa so Mr. CK Oben aka Pipeline or Aviance Kotuka International Airport and opay woni na hyase e na woni aba bewie nondui enchia kese nkoma woni pipeline workers na enyina se da bia so mokoso a mo etie yen mede ni kwadwo mensa mo shosho Kwakubi Maestro ha, to the production crew, Mavis Amano, Fire Lady, Professor E.K. Wallace, Countryman Songo, Moses Yeboah, Eric Asedu Bwadi, Sergio Manuchu, Queenster Japan, Facebook on the Dandan Bibia, Kobe Stone, Philip Otuo the Gunshot Man, Immortal Ajakwa Echampon, and Afe executive producer Samuel Kwada de Yurinchi, Nyami Aduma. Next week, Yebesan Eshebium on Monday, another exciting edition, 6 a.m. on the dot. Yes, in Konya at the Kenyano at the Abremo. Na Enra Assembly na Ayana me pese me bo sanko for number so me yonku bi nana rest can you imagine say insuo tona wakwa to ade wo Marina Mall na ne wallet afia tona wallet ni sika na ehemu nya sika ketwa dollars wom euros ewo mu na Ghana cedis ewo mu na papa ya hwehwe wallet isa wo hu say na security mind security for na ewo Marina Mall no me bo maba so pa wo mo fa wallet no ekipu wallet no e de koma o manager ekipu ye ema papa no tu ka kosan baaye over almost 1 hour e be hwe ya wo hu ema security for no edi no kre sika over be almost 3,000 Ghana dollars maye cedis maye enti me gidi se anka omo bo kro no anka beka enti wo mo ayade yenka ye mo maba so security men na mo wo Marina Mall nyina no anopa me bo maba so mo ayade pa se mudi sa no kre no se Bible kraka se mbo akwapa no kwafo se wadi kakra hu no kware no nti Yakopon onhyira mu nyina na bibia so enkoso mo. Happy birthday to Officer Ewura Esi Gansa of the Ghana Immigration Service. And your birthday, Officer Ewura Esi Gansa or Ghana Immigration Service. Happy birthday to you. Or say, may you live to be 100 years and beyond. From all the officers of the operations unit, especially Officer Kofi Echampon. And teenagers say Resi Ona Oje Osamba and then Anopay. The last one, as I'm sure was say our chamber and hall self-contained. Our Teshi Agbeza, Manette Court, close to Manette Court. Into we will be a open chamber or self-contained. Now open around Manette Court any Teshi for number we chamber hall available. Nipane de rente or so on page and be anti. Wow, here Diana Casano. Now what free into me bon number no CCR for number no 0277 142839 0277 142839 ofra na one edan ru anankasa atwetwe enkomo 0277 142839 yedi asi nyame ya adoma ebesan hia biom ya setena mu agyanhya betrase ne ne nkomo no edekeke tie ya setena mu ya setena mu efo bia ho
Asampa FM 94